Welcome back to Madison Square Garden in the 2015 Summer Finals between TSM and CounterLogic Gaming. And gentlemen, Game 1 goes to CounterLogic Gaming, so the big question is, what does TSM do to recover here in Game 2?
Well, they have a lot of time to adapt, thankfully for the best of 5, but CLG outplayed them in Champion Select, and they outplayed them across the map. In Champion Select, honestly, that composition that TSM was making, both Xpecial and Quas tipped me off that looked like a composition that TSM wanted to pick Yasuo themselves. So Yasuo being taken away from them was actually a big bump in the road for them. And then in terms of map play, I'm actually very worried coming into the rest of the series because Afromoo and Xmithy showed this synergy that they have trust in each other. Afromoo will send out the ultimate. Xmithy will send out his ultimate. But this tests the synergy between Santorin and Lustboy. They were outganked across the map. Is this synergy going to be enough to match up? Because I don't see Lustboy and Santorin ever really having that type of synergy, and you can't develop that over a BO5 instantly.
Yeah, that's an advantage you expect CLG to have, and they'll have it the rest of the BO5. The roams are going to be better, the gank's going to be better, period. Move on from there. As far as adaptation, TSM can ban out the strategies. They can ban the Yasuo, pick it away, whatever the case is. TSM can deal with that. There's not a lot of mandatory bans, so they can do adaptive bans throughout the series. The question then becomes, what else does CLG have in their bag of tricks as far as out-strategizing TSM, you know, what other comps can they run? That's the big thing for CLG for me.
All right, so CLG has to react to the reaction from TSM.
I mean, have preps ready. Oh, they didn't ban this. Cool. Here's comp B.
All right, well, it seems like an easier road for CLG, a lot more pressure there on the side of TSM. We'll see if they can handle it. Now, as we hand it over to our casters, Doublelift tells us what CLG have been working to fix from their semifinal performance.
We definitely need to change up our early game and be less predictable. But also, I just think we mechanically misplayed early in the series versus Tip. And if we just practice diligently, there should be no problems early as there were against Tip. I hope that we can get to mid and late game all in one piece. And then that's when we are really, really good because we're starting to get extremely strong in team fighting.
Pretty sure we just saw everything that he said within that game. They wanted to change the early game. They're getting extremely good in team fighting as long as they don't fall apart as they get through mid game.
They showed it They showed exactly that. There was only one little bit of miscommunication when they tried to get some Yasuo knockups and Zan had to flash forward but still wasn't in range. That only happened once though.
Yeah, and it's kind of different than the script we were expecting from the semifinals where they actually were losing in the early game. This time they corrected it, and with their improved team fighting, CLG wants to turn themselves into an unstoppable force, but now the sides have swapped, and we're in game 2.
Well, even before the game last time, they started with the Yasuo Victor Champion Select. We'll see if they start with something different here. Now, CounterLogic Gaming on the red side, Team SoloMid takes to the blue side as we go into picks and bans. Knowing that Olaf would be there, as well as the Azir.
Yeah, TSM with a first ban Kalista as well. Looks like CounterLogic Gaming's probably going to be banning Azir the whole series at this point. Maokai is maybe until TSM takes a game off CLG, CLG's not going to deviate from their bans. They had the same bans in pretty much all their games against Team Impulse, and it looks like they're doing that here as well.
Great pickup in Alistar. This still leaves Braum open. We saw the John play last game as well. CounterLogic Gaming doesn't have to pick that yet, though. Go ahead and get what they want for top.
This will give a lot more power to Lustboy for those high-impact roams early on, and we'll see if he can actually use this, because Alistar is pretty much the best tool that you can possibly have for early game roaming around. Afromoo definitely has not shied away from Braum, though.
Nope.
We picked that one up.
It's been a while since we've seen Lustboy make lots and lots of plays, bubbling people on Nami and doing crazy things, but Alistar is definitely something he can get dirty and down with. See what CLG has on their side. Feeling pretty good about the last game. May not have to show anything if they want to get a like composition. The Gragas will still be there for Xmithy, so he continues to run that champion consecutively pretty much in the jungle. Along with that Echo, and they'll get Jinx for Doublelift.
Yeah, it's the next best turret-killing champion. Second to Tristana here for Doublelift, but it's much less versatile. I mean, in his games on Jinx, he definitely seems to die more because he's still somewhat in the Trist style, but he's just not nearly as elusive. Especially against Alistar, depending on how much dive TSM picks, this could be a very dangerous game for Doublelift.
See what TSM will do. We did see Ezreal towards the end of the season. Still definitely an option for these guys if they want to go for it, but the picks they have been going for shy away from that.
It is also a good thing about Gragas. He's extremely flexible. They don't have to use his ultimate as an offensive tool trying to set up something like Yasuo. It is a form of disengage for Jinx, and they could try and top that with Janna as well. TSM are the ones who go for the other very big Cinder Hulk team fighting jungler, though, and they're the ones to grab Echo this time around.
Yeah, early on from the Team SoloMid composition here, it is looking much more team fight focused. 2 to 3 frontline champions is kind of the standard for just big, powerful team fight teams, especially when you get a high damage AD carry in the backline. And Bjergsen would theoretically be on a high damage dealer as well here.
Yeah, plus the frontline that TSM have chosen, I really like this against Jinx. They're very hard to get resets on. Alistar being able to pop the ultimate, and Echo as well can go back in time. They want to try and deny double lift the reset.
Definitely taking their time, down to 10 seconds here on the clock, making sure they also cause Team SoloMid to think quickly about their picks if they haven't already thought of the order.
I actually like those 2 picks from CLG. They're pretty much picture perfect for what they're trying to accomplish. Victor would have fit very well into the TSM team composition, and they also need extra PO4 double lift since he can't PO4 himself.
Right.
Yep, that's what I was looking for. They doubled down on it with the Gragas plus Janna. Now Yasuo is a counter pick top. It's not good.
Well, this would most likely be mid if they were to play it. They would blind. They would pick this into Victor if they decide to go for Yasuo.
Slow thought for the lock-in. We saw both. Saw basically every champion that's been hovered yesterday.
Yeah. Yasuo comp of their own.
Yeah, if you have just a little bit of damage on your Malphite and you ult the Jinx, it's just instant death from the Malphite and Yasuo combined.
Janna and Gragas are both already there. They have to be careful and work around
This
those.
is a Yasuo comp. Top lane Nautilus.
Definitely.
Gonna go for the on-point ultimate. Depth charge will definitely get a target coming in for Yasuo to knock up. Braum still up on the board here if they want to get another tank wall in.
You know, Shen is also still available.
That's
and
right.
CLG have 2 disengages. It's very risky. What's a possibility?
Sion Spartan gets to pick whatever he wants up against Nautilus. You would honestly kind of expect something more standard. Olaf is banned, so maybe the Gnar.
Yeah, the thing is, it's really hard to peel Yasuo engages, so having Gnar be able to get an AoE stun off.
Yep.
Yeah, I honestly feel like what CLG will be trying to do in a standard team fight here is when Yasuo does go in, because he's inevitably going to be able to get his ultimate off on Nautilus ult, whoever he clicks on, is to just throw the Gragas barrel right into the rest of the team. Isolate Bjergsen and kill him for initiating. I think that's the plan that CLG wants to try to accomplish, because I think with these team comps, unless Sion Spartan gets tremendous split pushing potential, we're going to be seeing some big team fights.
Yeah, we saw the change. We see the change from Team SoloMid here. That's not a utility mid lane for Bjergsen now. The carry pants are on for Bjergsen this game. Much different there. Something Team SoloMid relied on quite a bit in the past is for Bjergsen to always get going with a little bit more damage, I should say, across the map. It's not all on him, but he's got a pretty big job to do this game.
Yeah, definitely have my eyes on this matchup. Pobelter did very well in game number 1. Bjergsen gets the counter pick this time around, though.
So as we make our way into game, you know what to do. Make sure you get your way over to Twitter. Hashtag TSM win, hashtag CLG win at LOL Esports. This is going to be an amazing series. Game 1 has already delivered. We had the Baron fight back and forth for 2.5 minutes, which is telling me that these teams are not gating themselves through pressure situations. They're ready to go in, and they're not being risk averse here.
And CLG really crushed it in game 1. We were wondering if they were going to be able to transition their win streak into this series here, especially when the pressure is multiplied and amplified by the Madison Square Garden crowd and the stage of the NA Finals. But no, they were completely sound, played very smart and aggressive, which is even more impressive when you consider the environment they are under.
That's right, here we go. Game 2. The MSG environment now for Counter Logic Gaming and Team SoloMid. We're on the Rift. We'll see what TSM can do to put themselves back in this series.
I like what Lustboy has done also. He's starting with the coin. Everyone always sees Alistar go with the extra health from Targons, but I love the really quick build path into extra move speed for him. And it will definitely pay off early.
Yep, and even though Team SoloMid have been shaking up their play style, CLG still see Bjergsen as a major threat.
TSM's kind of been evolving their style. Like, they're proving that, hey, you know, we don't need to revolve on Bjergsen to win. Dyrus can play carries too. They put him on Olaf, and it's really great to see that they're just not limiting themselves to one strategy. And Bjergsen, of course, will always be that big threat, especially in tournament play. He's proven time and time again he's one of the best mid laners in the West, the best mid laner in NA, and he's definitely not someone you can underestimate.
Even when Bjergsen is on Lulu, not only is he the defining component of the way that the team plays, but he also still did the majority of the team's damage.
Yeah, and the play style change he's talking about with Dyrus being able to bring out different champions, simply having the Olaf ban for himself as well on top of the Rumble leaves that Maokai, that Gnar open now that he can have a nice top lane on. So things work out very nicely there in that situation. We'll see how this mid lane goes. There's been a few auto attacks back and forth for love taps, but nobody's gotten any summoner spells out as we would think. Yeah. Exhaust for Pobelter and exhaust for Bjergsen.
And if we kind of just go back through the TSM lineage with Bjergsen, when they're most successful, it's when Bjergsen is actually on a playmaker. During their slump disc split, it was him kind of relying on long-range poke champions, AP Ezreal, AP Kog'Maw. So him now being on Yasuo with a lot of setup for that is kind of the ideal way for TSM to play.
Right, more revolve around you instead of you revolving around making the plays.
Yeah, it's also going to be an interesting test because while Yasuo can set up his own big plays, the most effective way is when his teammates set him up. And it's going to require communication with Lustboy, which has been one of the big talking points throughout this summer split. Even on their YouTube show or whatever they like to shoot, it's always a point that comes up. This Lustboy's communication with the rest of the team on his initiations. This comp will test that.
Yeah, absolutely. Lustboy was brought on the team. There was a huge advantage to their mid-game vision. And then things changed. Lustboy's communication fell off, and the vision was pretty much what stuck. Still an amazing support. Now in the finals with Team SoloMid.
CLG going for an incredibly early turret pushing strategy. Jinx with minigun is probably the best turret taker early game for AD carry. Also, Janna and Gnar are two very potent turret takers as well. But now TSM has rotated down, and there will be Wild Turtle getting free farm in the top lane on Kog'Maw, and CLG may not be able to continue the push on this.
Yeah, they weren't able to pull it off quick enough. Even with the Janna shield adding AD to the very quick attack speed of Jinx, TSM do slip in with their three-man defense, and they didn't take any chances. They waited for everybody to be there before they tried to move in under the turrets. So no blood was shed, no turret dives gone for there. Basically, it's just the teleport difference now. Zanspire using his to reposition up top. Dyrus will have an extra cooldown, an extra base that he can use, so maybe he will put himself in a more dangerous situation and grab some more CS this way, and then try and rely on it to get back to lane. Otherwise, we may see one of those deep wards trying to pull off a dive. Alistar already headed top as Zion goes for the invade on blue. He's got to be careful.
He can't stick along.
Lustboy's roaming.
Cannot stick around for long because he knows he's completely outnumbered on this side of the map. Not to mention, Xsmithy is currently counter-jumping the other side, so he knows pretty much where TSM would be.
Looking at Bjergsen, too. It's just a mini Gnar level 3, though.
He's trying to kill time right now because he doesn't necessarily have his own farm. Exhaust burn, though. Nice stuns!
Wow! He's going to use... Oh, my God! He used Zion Spartan to dash, too, but they had the peace of mind to throw a few autos out. Take down Bjergsen in the mid lane. Pobelter has been playing so clean already early to get his health to that point.
CLG is really far ahead on these rotations as well because TSM did leave Dyrus with a very low turret. CLG could zone him off and get the turret as well as the first blood. So really just a monstrous first 5 minutes here for CLG.
It's exactly what Double said they wanted to change. Those first minutes of the game, and they absolutely have within the first two of the series.
And again, they focus Bjergsen. Last game, they have a Yasuo comp to be able to kill him immediately in teamfights. This time, he's on Yasuo, the melee champion who will extend far up into the lane.
Kill him immediately
and they converge from both sides with the early game gank to try and get him behind. 2 times in a row, CLG with a very good plan coming into the game.
And when CLG has been at their best winning games, it has often been through great early game plays and execution. The knock on them has been that they can't do that versus good teams because the good teams would find ways to stop them. Well, now They're in the finals of the North American LCS. They are undefeated in playoffs, and they are still pulling off good early game plans against these teams. So credit to CLG for sticking with what works and refining their strategies over time.
Definitely helped to have that slump in the middle. Those were the teams they played against, was the top teams, Liquid, TSM, Gravity, Impulse. That slump they had allowed them to kind of have all the takeaways that were necessary to make these things happen. Put Zion Spartan rather, on some different carry champions and start to spread the team a little better over DPS.
The craziest thing is that sending 3 people mid from CLG to get that early lead on Bjergsen didn't cost them anything.
They were so far ahead in the rotation game. I mean, this is also something that has plagued TSM in a lot of their games, is they sometimes concede too much in the early game and aren't necessarily making the plays. Everything about TSM's early game was reactive. They had to react to Doublelift pushing the bottom lane, and then they had to reactively leave Dyrus down bottom, and eventually Bjergsen ended up falling too far behind and getting to death.
Oh, Dyrus.
That's a lot of minions.
Moving in, looks like he tried to get as much damage as he could before heading out. Looks like he'll be able to just waltz out of this one without any more pressure coming down. He had Zion Spartan pretty low on HP, but...
Well, he has no turret. He's
so
definitely
far.
hoping to burn a flash, but Dyrus can just anchor away.
Ever so slowly. 7 minutes on the clock here. Bjergsen 44-46 against Belter in the mid lane. Those two, it's just actually Belter that has had to use exhaust in their previous engagement, so they may use that against him. We're seeing the 2v2, however, now in the top with Santorin going hard on Echo. Doublelift just to take a bit of lane damage. That was the flash pulverize, meaning they have more time with Doublelift just outside turret range. Choppers on the Santorin. He's down to 220 HP. It's going to be the teleports in. Zion Spartan absolutely scrapes the floor with Santorin, throwing him against the wall. Lost Boy has to exit with the rest of the team stage left.
Those flame choppers. It's not done yet, though. Both mid laners roaming up.
Zion Spartan had about a half second of Mega Gnar left by the time he came into that one, and he got the kill by smashing Santorin into the wall. That also looked like a bit of miscommunication by TSM. It looked like Santorin was willing to say no thank you to the gank, and that's when Lustboy flashed into the turret. We just talked about TSM having the communication test and whether everyone would be on the same page as Lustboy. It definitely did not appear to be the same page for TSM there.
For a second, though, it did look like, no, this is going to be okay, but that's where the communication goes wrong, is when one person has that thought and the others don't. Let's see it one more time.
All right, so there's the big chunk. After that, Santorin's ready to go out of tower range.
Yeah. Santorin only turned after Lustboy had flashed in, so that was very much looking like a play that Lustboy just made, and then the rest of TSM had to react to.
His parallel convergence also left a small bit of ground between the wall, and then walking up into that one flame chomper. Poorly executed there.
Yep. And now they're left with a 2,000 gold deficit, already down a turret, no real way to answer it, and they are not in position to take this dragon because Santorin suffered a death and is now very far behind Xminty in the jungle. This is a disastrous early game for Team SoloMid, and honestly, with the way CLG closed the first one, you got to be getting a little nervous here for TSM. Real chance of going down 0-2 here.
The Zion Spartan was the guy to get going last time on the Yasuo. 2-0 Gnar already. Dragon's going to go down sub 10 minutes over the side of CLG. One turret is already there, so they can start to work a different lane with Doublelift.
Yeah, as much as CLG lost early game in the last semifinals, during the regular season they were among the best.
Yeah.
Returning to form here. And Belter able to pick up the blue. Now his wave clear is going to go into overdrive.
Yeah. It's going to be very difficult for Bjergsen to do anything but farm in that mid lane. Unless he gets a gank assist, but Santorin is rather weak right now, so the gank assist wouldn't be that strong.
Something reminiscent for them. Going a little bit too aggressive, continuing to put them behind is something they do not want to do. It's happened in the past. Dyrus taking good damage from Zion. Doesn't actually receive any either, so he's slowly just winning this lane continuously.
Yeah, CLG, they need to work off this because both of the kills, the first blood cash as well as the second one, going to Zion, this is the point of power that you want to work on. When you get one member this far ahead of his lane opponent, you want to help that person out by giving them wards, plus also picking fights near that person's lane. That's what the junglers usually gravitate towards, the winning lane, so that they can also feed off of that advantage.
All right, Counter Logic Gaming setting up a little bit of defense now on their side of the map. They do still want to make plays, but they want to make sure TSM doesn't have any way to get their foot in the door and get themselves back in. A 2K gold lead can still swing any way with the way these games have been going. So it's up to CLG here to keep this one on the up and up. Pobelter doing a great job in the mid lane once again on Victor. Just getting another comfort pick. Played it the first game. Same with Smithy. They're getting champions they feel comfortable on right now.
Yeah, well, specifically because Pobelter has been able to get to his Hex Core upgrades so easily, he's now just repetitively shoving Bjergsen in, which just gives the rest of CLG so much freedom to set up deep wards. Pobelter pushes the wave in. They know exactly where Bjergsen is because he has to catch the wave of his turret. Pobelter then roams down to help Xmithy and Zion, who are getting deep wards within the jungle. It is just a well-executed early game based off their early lead.
And it's very difficult to punish that playstyle from Pobelter when their jungler is Echo without ward control.
Yep.
If Echo doesn't have the Fog of War advantage to throw parallel convergence with from beforehand, it's very hard for him to go in and make a play and try and combine with Bjergsen.
Yeah.
Unless Bjergsen's going to charge his own knockup and set it up himself.
And the turret right there was the fruit of CLG's labor. They had the deep wards, so they knew that Santorin wasn't coming from that side. They also knew that Yasuo has poor wave clear, especially before Static Shiv, and they very smartly rotate to take the mid lane turret. CLG is playing a spectacular first 12 minutes of Game 2 here.
Really making things work in their favor, spreading that gold lead to just about 3,000 now, with only being able to take down that mid turret, but push the waves. Still no kills yet as Team SoloMid plays a bit safer here in their aggression that they're using to get to the turret. Not past the turret though. They don't want to go for a dive this time.
Teleport about to come off of cooldown here for Zion.
That
and
roam.
CLG look like they're looking to make a play.
Pobelter's going to beat Bjergsen in the roam up the river unless they match up 1v1.
He's gonna be mega.
Howling Gale comes through. Oh my gosh, Zion Spartan. A beautiful hop over the team, throwing Lustboy back. The focus now onto Pobelter. Monsoon coming in from Afro, who may save Belter. Flashes out of that one alive, can still laser from the outside. And it looks like Team SoloMid dropping like flies here. Back onto Pobelter. He may live, but no. He goes down to the riptide of Dyrus. Everybody is giving their last ounce in this fight, and Team SoloMid actually comes out on top, dipping, dodging, and diving around the auto attacks. The skill shots. Bjergsen may have to give up the final fight, but 4 are down to the 2 of TSM.
He's got the knockup. If he misses,
That could be the pressure that he wants. Gets the cooldown, the boomerang. The boomerang is not caught from the wind wall. Bjergsen does not have a dash though. And as they go toe-to-toe, they must tiptoe back out of the fight.
Here we go.
Super mega death rocket.
timer.
In 3, 2, 1. Misses out just underneath.
he's no turtle.
Doesn't even cancel his recall. Who cares? What's he gonna hit him anyway? Honestly though, what a bloodbath that fight was. CLG not willing to take the safe turret for TSM. They did not want to give this one up, so they go in before Zion is alive, so he can't teleport in quite yet. And they also don't have a ward behind, so he has to really commit in order to get disengaged. From here as well, both mid laners roam, so we got a 5v5 on our hands.
Yeah, Lustboy had nothing left after that. The pulverized used as he was knocked in by Smithy's barrel. But then Bjergsen came with the roam up, and the Yasuo did a lot of work. He zones Pobelter out of the fight, but Pobelter trying to get back in and help the rest of the team only led to his own death.
Gank on Turtle.
They want a little something back here. Chopper's down. Oh my word, he may be able to take out double lift. You have to be absolutely kidding me.
Didn't even need the passive for it, so he got experience.
Hashtag things that should not happen.
Speaking of Kog'Maw, he gets a little stronger once he has Trinity Force.
You could say that.
Oh,
again.
a little bit.
That was strong intent from CLG. They wanted to give the kill over to Doublelift, but boy did they underestimate the damage of Wild Turtle. He landed all of his spells straight there, and Turtle picking up a kill in a 1v3 is tremendous for TSM to come back in this game.
That's why you never run away from a fight. Stand your ground. If you're surrounded 3
If
versus
you know
1,
you're going down, why
Never
not?
give up.
Fight
Never surrender.
valiantly.
fight till the end.
I like it. So that Triforce definitely giving Turtle the power he needed to come up in a 3v1 with his own kill. That's got to feel good for him. Going down or not, that feels good. He knows he has the ability to take out Doublelift very quick and can do so with the right positioning in a following fight. Dragons live, that fight may be right now, 15 minutes in. TSM have finally, within these 2 games, started to pull themselves back in. still anybody's matchup here.
Yeah, and due to the bloodbath that was the fight in the top lane, there's a lot of summer spells still on cooldown here.
Yep.
So if Xmithie gets a good displacement with his Gragas ultimate, there's pretty much no one who can flash to safety except for Santorin, who has both his ultimate and his flash out.
TSM should be able to cut them off here and get some of the gold back. Top turret left alone there with Zion, though.
Yeah, and there's actually a teleport advantage right here for TSM, so Zion Spartan would have to get some really strong turret pressure. This actually could be a situation where CLG really just wants to trade a top turret for the Dragon, but either way, it really appears like TSM is going to pull some type of advantage off this one if they play their cards right, with the teleport advantage and by taking the bottom outer.
Yeah, Dyrus backed away for a time. It looks like he's going to head back up there as TSM do go for that Dragon.
Should be able to stop pressure on the top side. Riptide that minion out, and
they're trying to have their cake and eat it too. TSM wants to stop the turret while taking Dragon. Here comes Yasuo.
And that teleport can follow after as well if there is a resulting fight. That's going to be the ulti. There's the last breath.
Oh, done!
Absolutely incredible from Zion Spartan. Beautiful plays across the board. His turret may go down. He actually may be able to get a nice wallop here right inside the turret range. He is just playing with fire right now.
Here comes the Jinx Rocket, and the rest of CLG are coming in.
Just misses. The Chaos Storm is going to finish him off, though. Bjergsen being held now by Aframu. The turret's low enough to take it down after a fight. Do they have what it takes? Bjergsen diving back and forth with the dashes, but he cannot get the right target.
Spartan with the ridiculous 2-versus-1 outplay, channeling the wallop right as he gets knocked up so that Bjergsen can't ult during the knockup.
Zion Spartan, the only member of CLG to play in an NALCS final. He did it back with Coast against TSM, the first split ever in 2013. And his Gnar play right there to stun Bjergsen as he would walk up during the duration of the knockup. So he buffers right here once he becomes Mega Gnar. As he was turning Mega to stop Bjergsen, gets back on the ground so the Osterwald can't go for him. Gnarls backwards to delay, and then he gets cheeky here. He stuns them in the turret because he knows he has backup coming.
The sidestep was 100% necessary as well.
Absolutely
Both the
amazing.
knockup and the hook dodge buys so much time for the cavalry to arrive, and CLG off to an amazing start here for the second game.
Aframu also smartly tanks the turret under his ultimate, so the rest of the team can assist with damage.
Already got that Zeke's on the build as well. Bringing in the damage for double lift once he is able to finish that item. Where are they going to head with this? Here, parallel convergence go out. Won't be a dash over the wall. Not enough distance for Santorin. They also did not have the follow-up. Bjergsen, however, looks like he may want to start a fight. Pole Belter is on the roam up here. Teleports up for Zion, up for Dyrus, and they're going to go 1v1 again.
I mean, he's got his Black Cleaver, so he's actually very threatening on Gnar here.
Top turret could go down. Looks like that pressure is going to happen. I don't think TSM kill. No, they will. Actually push back on this. Pole Belter gets a laser through the entire team. The Chaos Storm is also doing a ton of damage. That's going to be Santorin going down. He flashes out just at the right time. Oh! It takes down Bjergsen. Just misses to Santorin, but he still goes down. CLG has fights on either side of them. They're just trying to choose which one. They may have gotten themselves in a real bad spot. Turtle with double buffs, able to come up huge in the end.
Zion canceled this teleport, then later Dyrus got out of range of an interrupt and teleported for himself. That's a big game changer in that fight that looked like Double Lift was going to reset City to get all the kills. Turtle picking up a double kill on the back end of that is huge for his late game scaling.
Already had that kill previously, now 4, 2, and 4. He hasn't put too many items into his inventory, so he's sitting on 2,000 gold right now.
He's got to go back for that local gold. There we go. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Get that turret. Get that extra turret.
So, again, the standing gold that's always there. He was running back for it. Somebody told him. But the gold that's always there when they get behind early with all these towers, TSM have evened them up once again. They're still in a hole, but that is the beginning to their road to comeback. And it wasn't a Zion cancel.
Nice job by
Dyrus.
It was
a complete Dyrus outplay to get TSM back into this.
Yeah, and then because he was mini Gnar, Dyrus can teleport in afterwards. While Turtle stayed safe on the outside of the fight the whole time, and the big Nautilus coming in without a Gnar to match. critical to keep that fight even, because we have to remember CLG actually won pretty heftily at the beginning of that fight. Since TSM initiated heavily on Pobelter with the Yasuo-Alistar combo, but did not instantly kill him, Pobelter got his full burst combo off back at TSM and basically won the first half of the fight for CLG.
See if that follow-up can still be there. Both teams, now that we've heard, Team SoloMid and Counterlogic Gaming say they pride themselves towards that late game team fighting. CLG feels they're getting better. That's where we've seen TSM come back in games where they are very far behind. Right now it's 4,000 gold. CLG is starting to pick up map pressure as TSM is doing the same on the bottom side.
And a really big item completion by Afromer. He has the Zeke's Harbinger in the mid game. So it's an Infinity Edge 80 carry with the Harbinger. That'll be 6 seconds of nearly 100% crit against very low armor targets.
Bjergsen is in the bottom lane right now. Yasuo cannot join this. CLG trying to get a 5 versus 4 by starting this Baron.
Yeah, well, they have it.
Yeah, we had 10 minutes before this happened last time. Now it's 21 minutes into the game.
They're staying on the Baron instead of fighting.
Lustboy getting hit up. That's Unbreakable Will off onto him. It does not look like he'll be able to take too much more. Santorin
on the
very
way.
deep into the fight. Lustboy goes down, and they have whatever target they want. It's going to be Bjergsen trying to put that last breath in. Cannot trigger the ultimate, however. Santorin definitely going down. CLG trying to assess if they can still take this fight, but it's not looking good anymore. Wild Turtle getting shots off, but he's out of mana. It's all up to the auto attacks, and Pobelter is running headlong into both Dyrus and Wild Turtle right now, but nobody can follow up in the Void Ooze. Nice stretch line coming in from Dyrus to start the fight once again. TSM was waiting to reposition, waiting to counter-engage, and another double kill for Wild Turtle.
Pobelter too far forward, and they turn it around. Dyrus with a key hook there, and they got the blue buff onto Wild Turtle.
These fights are incredible. Having Bjergsen on a melee definitely makes for more exciting games when he's on AP Ezreal, but this fight in particular was CLG overstaying at the Baron pit. If they wanted to force a 5v4, they needed to peel sooner. If they wanted to take the Baron, they needed to fully commit for the Baron. They were caught in between two choices, and the extended fight could still have gone either way, but TSM has the outplay, and they pull themselves back in this game.
TSM making that choice for them.
You got it, Lustboy.
Turtle takes. Lustboy is happy to do so as the support. So we'll see this once again. Very long fight.
Oh, yes. Lustboy just runs right into Zion, and they get a huge chunk on him.
Yeah,
now it's panic mode.
Lustboy popped his ultimate early in order to dissuade the Baron, and as soon as that runs out, he actually gets hit. But no time for replays in this game. Caught on a Dyrus.
Batting orders back around. We're back to the Baron and back to fighting. Dyrus looks like he could go down here without any assistance. An error on the board there, and CLG is going to set up shop.
Yeah, persistent Baron pressure here from CLG. Dyrus will have his teleport up around the time that he respawns, so it's going to be difficult for CLG to really push this into a Baron. I think the game still stays close. One thing I do have to point out as well is the double Frozen Heart from TSM right now is doing a lot to make it so Doublelift can't take over this game with the Harbinger power spike. He has the crit, but he has no armor penetration yet. And as Kobe mentioned, it's really hard for him to take down Nautilus, Alistar, or Santorin.
They're also doubly on those Triforces right now. 23 minutes in, that's a heck of a lot of damage for them to have. If they get the fight they want, you will see Counterlogic Gaming's health bars just disappear right now. Pobelter or Doublelift still have the ability to do that, but it's going to be hard with this front line of TSM.
It's also hard for them to make use of this vision control that they have because they're facing Kog'Maw, and Turtle can just spam out artillery shots to check the brush. He keeps finding a target, and CLG haven't been able to make all of this vision control over Baron get them anything.
Yeah, I think it's really critical for CLG if they want to win a fight to be able to isolate Wild Turtle somehow. Based on how aggressive Bjergsen has been, there's been heavy focus on him, but that's leaving Wild Turtle pretty free to hit from the back line, and he's been kind of crushing it.
They're trying to burn down Baron while they fight the ward fight here in mid lane.
Minigun Jinx, real scary, but this is, again, a dangerous ploy. They have the vision coverage. Here we go.
They know it's happening already. Baron down to 14, 1,300, 900 HP. It's only Smithy. He grabs it. Dyrus very deep into the fight, but Pobelter's by himself on the back line and is forced to flash out. That's going to be a reset. Here comes Doublelift. Will they be able to get in? Zanya's down. Bjergsen, Pobelter 1v1. Chaos
Chaos Storm rains on that parade. It was a tough fight to win for Bjergsen, and Pobelter comes out on top. Now for Turtle, he dashes the zap, and it looks like it's going to be a follow-up from McSmithy. They're going for the kill.
Oh, what a bold call by CLG. They got Turtle.
There it is. Do they take Zion? No, they don't. That's the ace for Counter Logic Gaming.
And Baron. What a play right there. They start Baron in a 5v5 situation, stay for the Baron, and then win the fight? That is a ridiculous series of events.
You're the one running away after that.
Is a reason I want to highlight this Pobelter-Bjergsen matchup. He played that really well, the flank just on Victor. He re-engages with the Zonias to buy time for the rest of the team. CLG are able to collapse, and that was the difference between just getting Baron and leaving and getting Baron and taking out all of TSM.
Cannot emphasize enough how dangerous this was for CLG, and Pobelter
He
alone
draws
on the
the
flank.
whole team away here
Doesn't
and then
take damage.
re-engages.
Doesn't take damage as soon as the reset comes in. Perfect timing on his bodies, and the stun for his Chaos Storm. So he's ticking Bjergsen the whole time. The rest of CLG finishes off. Pobelter just a complete destruction of Bjergsen's Yasuo right there. Just Zion's had a couple plays this game, and Pobelter had that play this game, where they are just playing out of their minds individually with their mechanics, and that is pushing them 9,000 gold ahead.
Pobelter, 233 to Bjergsen's 192 in that mid lane. Not something you see for Bjergsen to be a minus number at any point in the game against his mid laners, but he cannot make roams, make plays with the way that Pobelter has been bringing out this Victor for the first 2 games of the series. The team now with free run around the map, and that's what they're doing.
Pobelter and CLG as a team have done a great job of controlling the solo mid of Team SoloMid. Now they march towards the base. Secondary turret down. Baron buff still up.
Talisman of Ascension there as well if they need to get in or out. Afromu already putting iron elixirs into his inventory.
TSM would have to go all in to stop this one.
Looks like
it would have to be a flash initiation from either Alistar or just a nice click by Nautilus. They get xMsmithy in the turret.
Let's see if they go for broke. xMsmithy takes a lot of damage. That could be the Yasuo last breath. They're going to wait on it. Lustboy hits up Zion Spartan, and they're also waiting for Mininar now. He gets an ultimate, not against the wall. TSM actually blows a few summoners to get into the right position, to be in the right spot. That kill going to them, but Dyrus has also fallen. That's going to be Pobelter going down. Way too close now for CLG. Triple kill for Turtle, looking for the Quadra, not going to get it that time. It's a triple for Doublelift. He's looking for Bjergsen. That's a Doublelift. That's a goal.
That pentakill came out of nowhere. That looked like the fight was going to turn in TSM's side, but Doublelift the whole time was free hitting. That might be the game.
It came off of xMsmithy's explosive cast. And that is the game.
Oh my God. 10 seconds to burn these down. They're running out of minions. They're probably going to have to back away.
Absolutely amazing play so far. If that's not the win, it might come shortly with that amount of power now just delivered to Counter Logic Gaming. A 12,000 gold lead, sub 30 minutes into the game with Doublelift's pentakill.
We have 39 kills in 28 minutes.
Zion throws the team into the base, then xMsmithy will ult them back out of the base.
Yeah, this fight did not start well for CLG, but they did have that gold advantage coming in. xMsmithy's super low, and honestly, they did a good job on the first disengage, but then decide to re-engage. Zion doesn't get the great Gnar ultimate. He wanted to get the wall stuns. It's honestly in the wrong direction.
Yeah. Yep.
And this is where it seemed like the fight turned. It also looked like disaster. Watch this xMsmithy Gragas ultimate. It looked like he was going to let TSM clean house with CLG. It was like, oh yeah.
All planned.
All planned. Because Doublelift
Let's
is
watch the crits here. Doublelift gets a crit on Santorin, then he gets 2 onto Turtle.
Another one.
Got another one onto Alistar. And he's able to take down Yasuo.
Infinity Edge, Static Shiv, Janna Shield, Zeke's Harbinger, setting Doublelift up to succeed. Reckless had a pentakill over in Europe in their best of 5 here.
Yep.
Doublelift gets a pentakill here. Only 30 minutes in, we got 24 kills on CLG.
A little bloodier than last game, you could say.
A little bit.
Just by a tad. And continuously, we said it going towards the end of the season, through the playoffs for these guys, Doublelift has been stepping up immensely. One of his best years that he has ever played as an AD carry. It's always been talk, and he's absolutely walking the walk this season.
Don't know if he's ever been better. The way he positioned in the semifinals against Tip, Impact and Rush did nothing but try and kill Doublelift, and again he outplayed them with Trist. Jinx, obviously, a whole nother animal. You have to really rely on your team as well as your own positioning. Definitely did it right there.
And he's not just cleaning up kills. He was doing a lot of the damage up front with rockets from the very start of that fight.
It was a majority of the damage, not just last-hitting champions, as AD carries love to do.
Yeah, this is way too far for TSM to be out.
It looks like they want a little bit of it. Parallel Convergence goes in. They're each doing it one by one, trying to sort each other out, but taking a little too much damage in the process. It looks like this turret's going down. Once again, Counter Logic Gaming making TSM walk to the beat of their drum.
Yeah, they have one inhibitor down in the bottom lane, 50 seconds on Baron. They're going to try their best to get some damage on here. Rather dangerous to push this without a Baron buff. But remember, with Yasuo mid lane, basically the only way TSM gets them off this turret is if they engage.
Wild Turtle just about to hit 16. It would really help with the long-range living artilleries, but they may not have time. Lustboy, Santorin just get hit up. He's forced to use the Echo ultimate and break time just to save his life. Santorin, Bjergsen, and Turtle running for solace on the base now as they watch Bjergsen get hit up. This is not going to be a good fight for them.
TSM used all of their knockups on the Gragas, on Smithy, and CLG punished them for it. That's going to be the game.
That is absolutely going to be the game.
Such a good game for CLG here.
27-15, Counter Logic Gaming go 2 in a row versus Team SoloMid in the NALCS Summer Finals.
Who would have thought CLG would be up 2-0 in the NALCS Summer Split Finals? Just under a year ago, they were one game away from being relegated against Curse Academy. How far this team has come from that moment till now.
Ridiculous intensity from both of these teams. They came out firing, like we said, no risk, right? Go in, don't worry about it, just play for the win. And I think CLG is doing that a little bit more. They turned it up to 11 that game.
Yeah. Win 2 games. It's no more win 1 game to give fans false hope. How real is this hope
that
for CLG? Because they have been playing so well. That was
this is uncharted territory.
Yeah, it is. It was such an aggressive game there from CLG. Like, basically TSM, for one, put themselves in a position where they had to fight to get CLG off of rotations, and CLG was willing to take them on that fight every single time.
I can't wait for Game 3's Baron.
It's the... Baron jokes aside, it was the outplays that really impressed me from CLG.
Yeah.
Specifically, Zion Spartan in the top lane to start it all off. That Gnar 2v1 outplay really got CLG going.
And that pole belter just dangling a carrot out at that Baron pit. Zanya's.
Everybody on the squad made an outplay in that game.
Absolutely. Brought the win out for game number 2, and right now we're going to throw it over to the Analyst Lounge to break down those games.
Thank you, Riv. Now I want to welcome Team Liquid's coach Peter to the Analyst Lounge to help us break down Game 2. But stick around for a couple minutes because coming up we've got a very special appearance that you won't want to miss. Just a little project we've been cooking up.
Me, right?
Now, what?
No.
Yeah, it's you. No, so Peter, I'm coming to you first. You've gotten the opportunity to see 2 games here. Counter Logic Gaming up 2-0 in this series. What are your major takeaways so far this series?
I think CLG play very good early games. They're very solid early game teams, and they do take advantage from TSM. Bjergsen on Yasuo still have a very amazing plays, but the Baron situation, CLG played that perfectly, which leads them the advantage, and eventually Doublelift got a panic kill there. I want to talk a little bit more about the strategy into the ban pick in these 2 games. The game 1, so I think CLG's one advantage is Zion Spartan's large champion pool, and they will be able to counter your top laner and get advantage from that. And the game 1, I think TSM got auto draft super hard because on red side you should be able to use that advantage to last pick the top laner, but they last pick the mid laner, which gives Zion a counter pick to the Gnar and lost the game. And the game 2 right now, Zion just pulled out a different counter pick again and just lose the game. So I want to see if TSM can do a change in the ban pick in the game 3.
Yeah, and because they have Darshan with this gigantic champion pool in the top lane for Zion, that allows them to run triple threat compositions consistently, and that's a huge thing because it takes the stress off of Doublelift. That pentakill he got was largely in part to the fact that if you don't focus Pobelter and you don't focus Darshan and you're going after Doublelift, well, the other guys are going to kill you, so you can't just focus Doublelift. When they were in their slump and losing games, it was because Doublelift was the sole carry. Now that you have these guys that you can just plug and play. If Olaf's banned, he picks Gnar. If those are banned, he's got Yasuo, right? Because of that champion pool. Triple threat compositions is the name of the game. They will not deviate from that.
Now, another product of that pentakill, though, was the number of crits that Doublelift was able to put out.
Oh, yeah.
And that is a product of that Zeke's Harbinger that we saw come out very early from Aframo.
He didn't even upgrade his coin. He went straight for the Harbinger just to make sure that he can get that around 100% crit there for Doublelift. Didn't even need the RNG because at that point it's all timing, and the team fight happened right at. He actually got 2 off, one at the very start and then one right after the exhaust. Just really, obviously not well placed, but they played around it really well.
Now, Peter, I want to go back to the top lane because as was mentioned by the casters, some huge outplays by Zion Spartan to get that game rolling. He played phenomenally in Game 1 and in Game 2. How can TSM specifically shut him down?
I think against CLG, Red Side should have the advantage there because you have the last pick. And I think this last pick you should give to Dyrus to trying to not let Dyrus get a counter pick there. And of course, Peraltus Victor has a lot of amazing play in these 2 games, but I still think Beers can hold on him on the laning phase, and it should be fine. So I think next game TSM should put the Dyrus to get a counter pick and trying to shut down the Zion Spartan.
You know, on top of that too, you know, we have to give credit to Pobelter, as was mentioned. Fantastic Zonius play, getting all of his burst damage out on the Victor around that Baron pit, holding his own really against Bjergsen, which is impressive in and of itself.
Yeah, we're seeing a new level here for both Zion Spartan and for Pobelter. If Pobelter wasn't stepping up, it's a 2-threat, right? The fact he's able to go even with Bjergsen, Bjergsen's not getting the same pressure from Santorin because the side lanes are so affected. Pobelter gets to show up to these fights unscathed in terms of his build, and he shows up and he deals a ton of damage. His positioning, he's baiting perfectly in these fights. I love his positioning so far in this series.
Now, finally, Peter, as a coach, you're coaching TSM here. Let's pretend, right? You're down 2-0 in the series. You have to win 3 in a row. The famous reverse sweep. What are you telling those guys backstage right now to get them in the space they need to be in to win 3 games in a row?
I think in a 2-0 situation, the first thing you should do is like heavy to bump the team. So team probably in a very low morale right now. What she is like, hey guys, you know, we can win. Just get heavy. Like we have to have a chance. It's not end. And changing their little bit strategies in the ban pick, talking about the game a little bit. They're just going to the game 3 and trying to win their best.
Now, one final question actually is, how has it been for you? You know, we don't get to talk to the staff, the support staff very often, and your experience here at this venue, getting to coach a team through, you know, a historic run or a historic playing at a venue like this.
All right, I'm just very happy that time, and very, very exciting when yesterday, just the opening ceremony. I just feel super excited of my team is.
All right, well, you guys played fantastically yesterday. Again, I'd like to thank you for joining us here in the Analyst Lounge. We've got Game 3 of our summer finals coming up after this quick break. On the way out, though, a lot of people are tuning in from all over the globe to catch the action here in the Garden, and one figure towers above them all.
I think TSM plays best when Darius knows what I'm going to play, so he can play something where he's comfortable. But Darius is just scared now, because he's like, oh shit, I just picked Gnar, and my worst fear came alive. He picked Yasuo.
Flashes out of that one alive, can still laser from the outside, and it looks like Team SoloMid dropping like flies here.
Going double. Nice.
There's the last one.
Nice. Super mega death rocket.
timer.
In 3, 2, 1. Misses out just underneath. Just at the right time. Oh, it takes down Peterson. Just misses. Reset to Santorin, but he still goes down.
I'm exhausted. Double. Nice. Good shit. Nice. All right. Back up.
We can fight. Nice.
I'm going.
Nice.
Go. Let's go!
Not gonna get it that time. It's a triple for Doublelift. He's looking for Bjergsen.
Counter Logic Gaming go 2 in a row versus Team SoloMid.